me better when I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. You know, sometimes you gotta talk about one thing so you can be reminded of another, and it's fun to take a trip down memory lane every now and then, especially when you've been doing this as long as I have. So if you guys saw, I believe last week I uploaded a video talking about how Fenty announced that they were going to retire the original foundation that they launched with, Pro Filter Soft Matte, and it brought back all these memories. And in the comments, someone mentioned the time that a brand launched 100 foundations, and I was like, you know what? A brand did do that, and I tried that foundation. So let's talk about that and let's see where they are today. Okay, so like I mentioned in that video, Fenty came into the game and shook everything up. Literally had these brands shaking in their boots. Owners were going on rants that she's just a pop star that doesn't know what she's doing. The brands were at those meetings trying to figure out, how are we going to top this? We can't let this brand come in here and take all of the energy that we have. So the brand said, you know what? If she came out with 40 foundations, we got to come out with 50. And then another brand said, no, that's not enough. We need to come out with 60. And then this brand said, you know what? We're gonna drop 100. And that's exactly what they did. 7 years ago, if you guys recall, PUR Cosmetics released 100 foundation shades. I found an article that was written by Ebony in 2019. It says Fenty Beauty shook the beauty industry in 2017 with the release of Pro Filter Foundation. Originally available in 40 shades, the line has added 10 more shades over the past year. Brands such as NYX and Morphe have since upped an ante with even more diverse options, with PUR Cosmetics stepping up to the plate with a whopping 100 choices for women of various shades, undertones, and skin types. Tisha Thompson, when I saw that name, I said, oh, it's starting to make a little more sense. Vice President of Marketing and Innovation at PUR told Allure it is important for the brand to promote confidence in its clients of all skin tones. We wanted to send a message that's much bigger than makeup, Thompson said. Your complexion is something that everyone should feel confident about, and this foundation gives everyone a chance to achieve the look and feeling that we all love. Thompson's own struggle to find a matching foundation greatly influenced the development process. As a woman of color, I've experienced major gaps in the market when it comes to complexion representation, so formulating in our set skin tone categories and undertones made it easier for us to focus on creating a really inclusive range, she told Bustle. Luckily, our team in the office is super diverse, so we were able to experiment with shades and give our direct feedback to the lab. Is that it? Okay, pretty much. Thus, the 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation and Concealer was born. This is what it looks like. It currently retails for $40. I think price has gone up because I did go back and watch the video that I uploaded on this, and I think in that video I said it was like $36 or something like that. And you get 1 ounce in it. Now, it comes in 100 shades. I'm currently on Ulta's website, and currently 36 shades are available on Ulta's website. Again, I went back to the original video I posted, and I think at the time it was like 22 shades that you could get online. So let's talk about my experience trying that foundation. So I will leave the original video that I posted and the follow-up I had to post afterwards. Y'all let me know. Go back and watch. Let me know if I was the problem 7 years ago, okay? But y'all know I have been testing foundations on the internet since 2015. So when a 100 shade foundation came out, of course, I was going to do a video on that. I purchased it with my own money. Okay, it wasn't sent to me. I purchased it with my own money. And nowadays, I can pretty much shade match myself on the internet. I will just find the undertone and the range that my skin tone is in. I'm pretty spot on when it comes to shade matching my foundation. Now, I could do it back then, but y'all know, like, back then it was popular to have those websites like Findation, I think is what it was called, where you would type in a foundation shade that you wear and it would tell you what your shade was in a different foundation. That's how I don't even be looking at to see if Sephora even still has that, but I know Sephora had that on their website at some point. So when I went to go purchase the foundation, PUR had on their website a foundation shade match type of thing. You would tell them what foundation you wore in a different foundation and they would color match you to their foundation, right? Right, okay, cool. So since it's on the website, I was like, and it's 100 shades, let me go ahead and try that. I put in 3 different foundations. It gave me the same result for 2 out of the 3. So I went with the answer that I got the most. And I believe it ended up making me purchase the like second to last foundation out of 100 shades. Imagine a brand has 100 shades in their foundation and somehow I am still the like third or second to last foundation out of 100. That was red flag number one. But the foundation gets here in real life, and if you haven't guessed already, it did not match, right? So in the video, and y'all know, like, I am not above still reviewing a foundation if the shade is too light, if the shade is too dark. So I still did in the video, and I pointed out in the video that, you know, even though it's not the correct foundation shade for me, I do think that is a plus for PUR, that it's too dark for me, and there are still shades that are darker than that, even if it was like 2 or 3 shades still left after that one. The babies, sometimes I can find my shade. So it's a foundation shade that's too dark for me, and there are shades that are still darker. That, you know, it's still a plus for PUR. However, two things can be true at the same time. Kudos to you that you have clearly put out a shade range that is extensive. However, it doesn't just stop there. And that's the thing that had people saying it was performative when the launch even happened. Around the time, if you were there, when the brands were arguing over 40 foundations, 50 foundations, 60, people were like, baby, that's not the only thing you need to worry about. First of all, y'all need to be inclusive across the board, okay? You can't have 100 foundation shades and then you have 4 concealers and then you have 3 bronzers. And even sticking with just foundation, yeah, these brands were rushing to put out 50 shades, 60 shades, but it'd be 20 shades. The undertones are yellow, the undertones are orange, the undertones are red. It'd be 60 shades, but 40 of them are diverse for fairer complexions, and then that last 20 still deeper, like medium to deeper complexions still have to, I don't know about this one. So yeah, people were still talking when this came out, and they were saying that, you know, y'all are focusing on the number that's being given with the shade range that comes out, and not about like quality. And again, not speaking on the actual like PUR foundation itself, because if I do recall, I didn't finish watching the whole video, but if I do recall, I think I said it was a pretty okay foundation. Like, you know, nothing clearly to write home about, but nothing that I think if you purchased it, you'd be disappointed with your purchase. So even though I said all that in the video, good on you for having a good shade range. Good on you for having a pretty decent foundation. Yes, I'm still going to point out your shade finder doesn't work. And it kind of should work, especially because at the time, only 20 something shades were in store. Even now, only 30 something shades out of 100 are in store. So you're most likely going to end up having to purchase that foundation online. So if you're going to have something like a finder that is supposed to help people, and here's the thing, wouldn't you want that type of feedback? Like, if you were providing consumers with something that is supposed to help them when they are making a purchase, shouldn't you want feedback knowing that it wasn't working? Because mind you, I was not the only person who said it didn't work. In their comment section, in other videos, people were using their shade finder because there's 100 shades and it wasn't working for them. As a brand, wouldn't you want to know that so you can fix it? Because you know what they don't want as a brand? Returns. That's what they don't want. And you know what people are going to try to do when they use your shade finder and they are given a shade they literally just cannot use? They're going to return it. Well, baby, I learned very quickly. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to say that, because you know what that made me? That made me ungrateful. Saying something the brand provided to help me give them my money not working, and me pointing that out made me ungrateful. I will have, actually, let's look at some of the comments. Let's look at some of the comments that I got, because I dared to say their shade finder didn't work, and I didn't just give them a cookie because they released 100 foundation shades. Why so negative? The world will never be inclusive enough for people. Get over it, people, and stop trying to find something to complain about and focus on the positive things in the world. Ugh. I'm so sick of people about inclusivity all the time. Nothing is ever good enough. I am not a subscriber, nor will I ever be. And for you to keep condoning negative, nasty, always gotta have an attitude about everything from the typical black chick, you can kick rocks too. And that is why people are not impressed when you come out with 100 foundation shades. Because you know what people are thinking when they see that? Here, damn. Oh my God, all this complaining about inclusivity, all this shit, here, damn. You have nothing to complain about now because you have 100 foundation shades. That response to me saying your shade finder does not work is why people were not impressed, because they believe it's not being done in good faith. Because apparently, because they did that, You are not allowed to say anything about the products. You just have to like it. Yeah, they gave us 100 foundation shades. I love it. Yay. And here's the thing. We are now 11 years into this, and this is why I never gave a damn. Good. If I pissed you off by saying that, good. Let me say something else so I can make you even madder. And I never gave a damn about saying how I felt, not handing out cookies for the bare minimum, and never gave bootlicker babes, okay? And it's been very beneficial. Now, when you are that outspoken, especially for these type of topics, it can hinder something. You might step on a toe or two, but those aren't toes that I would want to be sitting at the same table with to begin with. So let's start there. But for the most part, most brands are receptive to said information because, again, they're in the business of making money. And if you actually listen to what is being said and you're not a bigot, you're going to hear that it's sound advice that's being said. Saying that your shade finder on your website doesn't work is not negative. I would think that's pretty beneficial to hear. It's not like, y'all know how I be talking about those Sephora reviews where it'll be like, I'm giving this product 1-star review because I ordered the wrong shade. Do they offer your shade and you just ordered the wrong thing? Or like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's feedback where you're like, girl, if you don't shut up. It's always funny to me when I see all these warriors in the comments who were going so hard. When I reviewed that Tier foundation and I said the shades weren't it, they were going hard for that thing in my comment section just for the brand to reach out to me like, hey, we saw your video, we'd love to fix it. The amount of times I have had people literally foaming at the mouth in my comment section, and here comes the brand in an email, hey, I played your video for our meeting today. Hey, we saw your video. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, it's almost like that's why you're supposed to be honest and actually speak out about certain things. So I did that with this video, and PUR reached out to me and offered to send me more shades. I did a video with the correct shade, and again, I'm pretty sure I said like it was a pretty decent foundation. Like if you purchased it, there wouldn't be anything wrong with it. You see how that works? You see how it can still be a good product, but there's always room to fix something. So that was 7 years ago. 7 years later, where is the brand? Where is the foundation? And again, I think that's kind of why people looked at the, oh, well, this brand's got 50 shades, this brand has 6 shades, this brand has 100 shades as a gimmicky type thing. And they were a little more reserved with praising brands for this kind of thing because it was like, okay, well, what kind of energy did you keep after that? And here we are 7 years later. And PUR in general, you don't hear much talk about it. I think it's become pretty much like a QVC kind of brand. I think that is where most of their focus is. They don't really worry about, like influencer marketing anymore. I think they have their own demographic, and, QVC is a little older of a crowd that is more worried about that. That's where it is. I've looked at the other products that they have available. Did they keep that energy with the 100 shades and stuff like that? No, that's why people were like, okay, when they came out with 100 shades. You can still purchase the 100 shade foundation, right? Still available at Ulta. It's got, I think that was like 4-star reviews. 4.2, 1,700 reviews. But I'm looking at the other products that they offer now. I'm seeing a lot of skincare. I'm assuming they've gotten more into skincare throughout the years. A lot of mascaras. Lip products, 6 colors. There's a matte blush, 2 colors. Looks like a bronzer contour stick, 6 colors. Tinted moisturizer, 8 colors. A powder foundation available in 22 colors. I think that like 100 foundation thing was supposed to be their big like moment in the industry. And it was, but I think it was just a moment. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think it was their moment in the industry where everyone was talking about them, but everyone was only talking about them because it came in 100 shades, not necessarily the product. Whereas there are certain things, certain brands, certain products where, no, the product is what people are like, oh, baby, I don't care what else happens to the brand, but I know that product needs to stay there, right? Like a Gloss Bomb Fenty Beauty, Lancome Tint Idol, Danessa, the Blurring Balm. Who else? So it was a moment, but I don't think it was the moment that PUR really wanted because it was only a moment in that moment for the number of shades that it has. You see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't become like a staple. Everyone just has to go try this new product because everyone's raving about it. Is everyone raving about it, or is everyone talking about it because you had 100 shades? And after a while, now mind you, that's 2019, so we all know what happened shortly after that. I think brands caught on that, like, the novelty of that has worn off. They're not going to be impressed anymore because you have the most shades in a foundation. So in a sense, it can be beneficial to you, right? It can be beneficial if you are looking for that moment as a brand where all eyes are on you, like, do your big one on that one. However, whatever product it is that you're using to do your big one actually has to be a big one. That's part one. And part two is, if you are able to have that moment as a brand, what are you going to do next that you can continue with that momentum, right? It's kind of like a Fenty, because there was a possibility that Fenty could have flopped, right? Fenty could have came out with that original release, and after that, it was just kind of like a wear off kind of thing, because I could name some celebrity brands where that has happened, but it didn't, because they continued on with that momentum. I really want to say it wasn't until maybe like 2023, 2020, maybe like 2024, 25, where I first started seeing people talk about something. When are we going to be honest about Fenty Beauty? When are we going to, right? They held that reign. They had the people there every Friday for a new launch for years. So you need, one, the product that's going to get the people talking, and two, the strategy and the business that's going to keep them talking after you have all the buzz. And I think right now, like Danessa Myricks, One Size Beauty, those are brands. Rhode, again, I haven't tried anything from Rhode, but I'm watching, right, from that perspective, are brands that are doing pretty well with having that grasp right now. And, you know, sometimes your time will just come to an end, because before it was the Lancome, it was the Estee Lauder. And it's not to say that no one's talking about Estee Lauder or Lancome anymore, but clearly, especially in this type of space, it's not like it was in 2015, 2016. All right, y'all, so that is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on that foundation. If you tried it, how did you like it? If you never tried it but you knew it existed, is there a reason you didn't try it? If you haven't, and seeing the reviews, if you go back and watch that review, reading the reviews on Ulta's website, would you try it right now? Yes, no. Let me know all of that down below. Make sure 2 thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.